It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Bleav in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code Bleav. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where Tyrus, yes, the Funkasaurus himself, is a world champion in pro wrestling. Ugh. I could move better in the ring than he can, but hey, it's lost to the Midcard. Welcome. We are halfway through November. How the hell is that already? We are.
It's wild, man.
Oof. We got Full Gear coming up this Saturday. We will get you our predictions for that later on in the show. Week after that, we got Survivor Series, so we got definitely a busy end of the month coming here as we shush, man. Before you know, it's gonna be Christmas already. But I am Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers, and as always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing this evening?
A little under the weather, but I'm all right. Just throat's giving me some issues, so
it's that time of year.
That's always fun. Yeah, it is definitely that time of year.
we had 6 days ago 77 degrees, record high, and now we're talking about having a record low. We just decided to nosedive into winter and skip fall altogether, apparently.
Yeah, it's the same thing happening in my state, man. It's freaking wild.
Thank you guys for joining live. We appreciate you, and as always, make sure to subscribe. Hit that little thumbs up there so you can get us out in the wild to some random people that may stumble upon us, and make sure you comment as well. All that stuff helps us out. We did reach 500 viewers. We did finally cross that threshold. So that means if you are subscribed to the Bleav in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, what you need to do is go to Rick Uccino's Twitter account, and I will get that pulled up here. There is a pinned tweet that you need to do there, and right here it is, at Rick Uccino. There is a pinned tweet on his account. You got to retweet that. And why am I asking you to retweet this? It's simple, because if you retweet that, you are now in the running for a $100 gift card to either WWEshop.com or shopaew.com. The official Twitter post is on his pinned tweet there, Rick Uccino. So make sure you get yourself into that contest, as we will be. I'm not sure when the giveaway is going to be, but obviously, if you follow Rick on Twitter, tune in to Bleav in Pro Wrestling as well. When they go live or a show goes live, he'll let you know when that drawing is. But of course, obviously, you want to get in there and get yourself entered for yourself a chance to win some whatever you want to buy. Could get a t-shirt, get action figure, get whatever your heart desires from either the AEW shop or WWE shop. So kind of a quiet week in pro wrestling. Nothing really major dropping. Like I said, hard times happened this weekend, and I don't think hardly anybody watched that. I don't know. Did you even catch any of it, Matt?
Not a single second of it, sir. Not a single second. Because they did I knew they were going to do exactly what they did.
Yeah. Writing was on the wall with pulling the title off of Murdoch, putting it on.
Corgan thinks this is good heat. Well, I guess we'll see how good heat it is when your tickets stop selling and people stop buying your shitty shows. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, it's amazing how, you had yourself a great product in the pandemic, and I don't know. You could have easily been building to this point with new stars and actually people that could move in the ring. mean, this, you know.
And that's the whole freaking thing, man. I see so many people online trying to come at people and be like, "Oh, you just don't like his politics." I don't know. I've never listened to anything to do with his politics. I've watched that man try to work in the ring. And honestly, look, I'm not one to go out and bash someone's wrestling ability, but honestly, if push comes to shove, I think I could get it in the ring better at this point at my age and move better than Tyrus does. And
Yeah,
that's not
Steve.
saying a whole lot because I don't think I do a very good job either. But dude, he is terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. He's one of the worst people in the ring in all of wrestling in 2022, and he's the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. Like it's honestly disgusting. And the fact that Corbin thinks this is good heat for his company, well, I can't wait for it to bite him in the ass.
I don't get why it's not going to drive new viewers to see Tyrus. I mean, anybody that knows wrestling, you know, that the Funkasaurus stuff was so long ago, and even then he couldn't really move in the ring. Now he's older.
He moved a lot better back then than he moves now.
And we all do.
Well, fair.
And as Stephen Chambers in the chat says, yes, congrats to Ricky Morton's son from the Rock and Roll Express. His son, Kerry, won the World Junior Heavyweight Championship against Homicide at Hard Time. So it was good to see Kerry Morton get his first singles title in a major profession, a major sport, a major company there in pro wrestling. So that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, I did not watch it. I was not even home. So was it Saturday or was it Sunday?
It was Saturday night. I watched Wrestling Revolver instead.
I wasn't home, so I'll blame it on that. Anyways, but thanks to everybody joining us live here.
I just blame it on shitty booking, sir.
Well, that too. Thanks for everybody. Always joining the conversation. We are here live every Monday night as your lead up to Monday Night Raw, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Get your comments in, get your questions in, your anything you want to talk about pro wrestling wise, any question. Hey, we're the king of detours, so it doesn't have to be on topic even. So just go ahead and shoot us a comment in the chat. We are very glad.
We'll talk about anything in the world of wrestling you guys want to talk about. Just let us know.
Let's kick it off with the lead. What? The lead? What? I said the lead. This is dropped from Fightful Select. Some rumblings of this story happened about a week or two ago that Steve Austin was interested maybe in returning to the ring. Obviously, WrestleMania was very much a success, a very entertaining match with Kevin Owens. And Austin looked good in the ring. He didn't have to do too much, but at the same time, he did enough to make it an entertaining and lengthy match. I mean, the match itself, I Bleav it went over 10 minutes at least. It wasn't quite 15, but it went over. It went about 12, and I thought a very interesting, very entertaining matchup, so to speak, against Kevin Owens. Now, of course, now we have a whole new regime in WWE with Triple H in control now. And according to Fightful Select today, they have said that not only has Steve Austin said his return to the ring is something he would like to do, it is now something that WWE is offering him. Of course, Austin posted a video of him working out and being in incredible shape for a guy that is nearly 60 years old. What? And of course, that the workout video is what drove some speculation. And so Fightful did some digging and said it is with merit, as they were told that WWE at least wants him to do more with the company. Specifically, they were told that while Vince McMahon was in, they had hoped that Austin would come back to do another match. Now that Triple H is there, they've actually made an offer to do yet another match. Sources that were spoke to Fightful Select said they weren't sure if that meant a Saudi match, WrestleMania, or anything else, but that there is an offer. Those sources presumed it would be for WrestleMania in LA. Of course, LA is one of the homes of Steve Austin. I don't know if he lives there now again. I know I think they moved back to Texas, but he did live in California for quite some time as well. But nothing.
I think he has multiple homes.
Yeah, probably. And sources say that no opponent, no nothing out, no time, anything like that. nothing to note as of yet. Also, at the end of the article, they did mention that another source indicated that initially Austin and WWE are actually pretty far apart on terms. But I think,
AKA
yeah,
Austin wants that money.
exactly. What do you think about Austin having potentially another match in WWE, Matt?
Well, first off, I think the fact and you said it, and I've seen a lot of people say this today that Austin didn't have to do much in his match against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. That dude took a suplex on the concrete, brawling with Kevin Owens in the crowd when that guy hasn't freaking wrestled in well over a decade. So, like, the fact that he was out there and he was willing to put his body on the line like that, that man can have a full blown regular wrestling match, in the ring and surrounding the ring. You don't need to do all the craziness of going through the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
But if he wants to work another match and the money's there, let's freaking go, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was a very
The possibility that we could get Rock, Austin, and Cena at WrestleMania 39, dude, that's gonna sell the show for a lot of people right off the bat.
Yeah. Hey, look at Jose figured it out. He was coming in as Facebook user. Now he's switched back to the Jose G. Of course, we had a lot of great times doing Top Story back in the day. That was about a year ago. But Jose, he says he doesn't need another match. But
as long as it's not in Saudi, I don't want him doing it in Saudi Arabia. But
God,
if it's at WrestleMania and the man wants to do it, and there's a story there and the money's right, let him have another match. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, Steve Austin will be 58 in December, so he would be 58 probably by the time he wrestles that match, which would probably be at
Freaking
WrestleMania.
Sting's jumping off balconies at 62. I think Austin's
all
right.
Yeah, and Sting's looking good in the matches he's done with AEW so far. So yeah, there's not and Steve's healthy and obviously in shape, and now it's just the question of who.
That's the big question.
Who would you want Austin to face at WrestleMania? It's a good
look.
question.
If they want to throw the mega powers together, you could do Cena and Austin. Because I don't think that was ever done. I don't think that ever happened. I don't recall that match ever taking place.
I would assume that Cena's probably going to have Theory, but who knows?
Dude, if I'm Cena and I saw the way they booked Theory at the end of Raw last week, I'm like, I ain't working that guy. Get me somebody else.
Yeah, and at the same time, I mean, Triple H probably isn't as high on Theory as Vince was. So,
and if you do Austin and Cena, you're not hurting anybody. You're putting on a marquee mega bucks match.
Yeah,
and it's not going to hurt anybody on your main roster after the show's over.
No, and WrestleMania is all about the spectacle and entertainment. We all know that because it's a sports entertainment company. That means this would be a tremendous thing there. Booker T. How about another supermarket match? Price check on
the Jackass.
Price check on Jackass. That is seriously one of my favorite moments in not just SmackDown history, but WWE history.
I would agree.
When it was like a horror movie when Booker T's standing there and all of a sudden
I probably go back and watch that like once a year. Just when I need a big laugh, I'll go back and find that on YouTube and watch it back. I freaking adored that segment, man.
My God, that was some gold right there. But that is all we got right now. Of course, as more drops, we will get that over to you. But we continue on with our top stories of from the weekend here. Some unfortunate news from a guy that we just mentioned, Kevin Owens. It has been reported by the Wrestling Observer that Kevin Owens suffered an injury at a house show last night in Madison, Wisconsin. The early word is that it was an MCL sprain. So during the match, Owen planted his knee and seemingly injured it in the process, and then ended up winning the bout by hitting a stunner. Of course, we haven't seen Owens on television much recently, mainly because he was not in the Crown Jewel plans. And if it's an MCL sprain, I mean, there's at least worse things that could happen. But if it's an MCL sprain, I would say 4 to 6 weeks probably. Kind of depends on the severity of it, but I would say that's probably at least not a terrible situation, Matt.
Actually, I think it is a terrible situation if he's out for 6 weeks because everything was pointing to him and Sammy rounding out those
Yeah,
War Games teams at Survivor Series.
yeah,
So if he has an MCL sprain, which means he'll be out 6 weeks, they need a replacement. And there's a very short list of guys who could be put into this match, and one makes sense, and two people we care about.
yeah.
And I've mentioned this on Twitter earlier this afternoon, and I'm sticking with my pick. If Owens can't go, Triple H needs to pick up the phone and call Cody Rhodes.
See if he's
Like
ready.
they might be waiting for, they might be doing the whole, we want to wait for the Rumble to bring him back. But if he is cleared and he's ready to go, him being the surprise fifth guy in the match his father created,
Yeah, I like that
it would
story
also
better.
kick off Cody's storyline with the Bloodline
Yep,
heading into WrestleMania and Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
yep.
To me, I think at this point, if KO can't go, Cody Rhodes is the guy Triple H needs to call just to see if he's able to do it. Because if he can't, I don't know who you go with. I know a lot of people say Seth Rollins, but I feel like he's gonna be locked up with Bobby Lashley at Survivor Series. So they're gonna need somebody else. I think Cody's the best option right now if KO can't go.
Yeah, I don't know where that Lashley thing is going to go. Are they really turning him heel? Obviously, Rollins has been teetering in the line as well. Steven in the chat says Ricochet. That wouldn't be too bad of an idea.
The
I
thing is,
think,
no one would. The thing is, he would have a couple cool spots, but no one would care.
yeah,
He
there's
hasn't
not,
he hasn't been built up enough to be, you
yeah,
know, the final addition to that match.
yeah,
We're already bundled down with Ridge Holland being in this thing.
Hey, Rich ain't that bad. He's getting better. Cody comes back at War Games. KO comes back at the Rumble and wins. I don't mind that idea either.
I still think KO and Sammy is the play for the tag title, so I
Yeah,
can't see KO winning the Rumble.
that's why I'm saying it's not a bad thing because it's only going to take about 6 weeks. The bad thing is obviously he's not going to be he's not going to be the Survivor Series. Now, of course, this is coming from the Wrestling Observer. No idea if this is
I'm hoping they're wrong. I'm
no
hoping they're wrong.
no idea if this is the exact diagnosis or not.
PW Insider was not able to have a diagnosis by this afternoon, so I mean that's another source. They know of what happened, but they were not able to have the same injury report that the Observer had. So fingers crossed for KO that he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I hope it's a lot less than what they said, because I don't want him to miss Survivor Series. I think it's too important.
And everybody was wondering, with the inclusion of Mustafa Ali in the World Cup tournament, being the only Raw guy in the brand, people like wondering what was going on. Well, that was because Rey Mysterio was supposed to be in this World Cup tournament originally, but he has come down with either an ankle or foot injury, according to old Uncle Dave at the Wrestling Observer there. So that is why Mustafa Ali was replacing, was a kind of an odd placement into that whole thing, is because Ray was supposed to be originally there. Ray last wrestled at a live event in Mexico City on October 30th. No other updates yet on Rey Mysterio at this time, but that is kind of why they rounded out that with Mustafa Ali instead of Rey Mysterio.
Really sucks coming off that match with Gunther.
That was a good
That
match.
was a great match.
How about Randy Riddle in with we got the Brawling Brutes and Drew.
Look, you could put Riddle in there, but it's not going to be a big deal because they've really cold Riddle off, and everything we've heard on Orton is that man's not back till next year.
Yeah,
thanks to the back surgery he had. So
I'm
not expecting the Viper to slither into Boston in a few weeks,
unless it's they're keeping his recovery hush hush. I would figure we would have heard a little more rumblings that Randy's close. We've heard
everything I've heard is next year for Randy.
Yeah, we've heard absolutely nothing.
He might not even make Mania.
Yeah, we've heard absolutely nothing so far. Moving along, look at us. We're talking about Nick Aldis for the second straight week. But he is making some headlines, and some of the stuff he's saying makes sense. And Nick Aldis, of course, we talked about this last week. As said, he's a free agent as of the first of the year. And then coincidentally, Billy Corgan suspended him for the rest of the year, pulled him from the Hard Times main event and other events with NWA at the rest of the year. And now there's even more headlines that Nick Aldis is making with the NWA. He spoke with Nick Hossman with Wrestling Inc. And he had mentioned that the NWA is a toxic brand, and he clarified it by saying, "I'm not trying to get into the political stuff. That's not interesting to me. Politics in this country are very, very split, very divided. I'm a centrist. However, I feel like as a brand, you should do your best to be apolitical as well. That's not really the meat of the matter. It's more about the audience having been telling them one thing for a long time, and Billy specifically disregarding them and doing the complete opposite, almost out of spite." So Aldis is basically saying, we know that you guys hate Tyrus. No matter what your affiliation is, you don't think he should be a world champion regardless of anything political, but yet you still put him on that spot. He continued with, at some point, it feels like he's short of deliberately going against what the fans are asking for, and it just feels like a very spiteful approach. I just don't think that it's got anything to do with business. It's got to do with ego. Who does that sound like, Matt? Who does that sound a lot like?
That guy who's not around anymore.
Shut up!
Yeah, I'm not doing my Vince impression this week. My throat will never forgive me.
I'll do it for you. Oh, but yeah, Jesus. I don't know. Aldis would be a better fit to go to Impact. No, I mean, Steven, we mentioned on the show last week, I mean, that he's already done that. So his next step's going to be AEW or WWE. He's at the prime of his career at 35, 36 years old. His next step's going to be one of the two big companies, to be honest with you.
I hope it is for his sake, because honestly, if he just lateral moves and goes back to Impact, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, I just don't.
Rough.
I mean, Impact.
But that also speaks volumes about how little he thinks of the NWA.
It's true.
So,
yeah. I mean, Impact is not. It's a good product. It's just
its reach is really bad.
Last week's episode of Impact did just over 50,000 people. 50,000 people. There are more people that watched Pat McAfee's show during the day concurrently than watched Impact. Just to put it in perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
Nick, and we had to make fun of Matt last week because he actually had some praise for Nick Aldis. Oh my God! If you've known the show, if you've been with us for nearly 8 years, we made our debut in 2015 after the Royal Rumble, and almost all 8 of those years, Matt has had a disdain for Nick Aldis, which made last week so special.
Look,
I
gotta call him like I see it, man.
We're gonna get Aldis on the show one of these days, and we'll be singing Kumbaya.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's very unlikely.
You never know. Never say never. Rick's got some pull. We might be able to get that happening. And also for the second straight week, we are talking about AEW Fight Forever because a little bit of news dropped from a quite the reliable source, a friend of both of ours. Mike Straw, who has worked for Sports Gaming Online, I believe, in the past and such, is some good sources and always a good source for news in the sports gaming world. And he took to Twitter today and said that he has heard rumblings that despite not being removed from the game, there is talk of removing CM Punk from the Fight Forever cover. However, one source has also told him a while back that THQ Nordic believes keeping Punk on the cover will entice sales because he's a known name. And I'm just going to say that that source at THQ Nordic probably doesn't watch wrestling. because if he would only know what's going on in this whole world, that you'd understand why we're talking about possibly pulling him from the cover. What do you think, Matt? Should he be pulled from the cover, or should you keep it as is? We got this beautiful cover right here with CM Punk front and center. You got Omega, you got Britt Baker, DMD, you got Jade Cargill, Mox, and Jericho, the Ocho. Do you pull Punk? Maybe don't make him front and center. I'd say make Mox front and center. He's a 3-time champion, the only 3-time champion in your company. I may be a little biased because he's my favorite wrestler of all time. Just look over my shoulder, but I'd say make Mox your front and center guy and put Punk in the background.
Look, I've heard for some people over the past month or so. I've heard the same rumblings. I haven't been able to get it confirmed from anybody. However, to me, I think it's more of a discussion than an actual than a move that they plan to make. If they do remove him, I mean, to me, the smartest thing to do would be to replace him on the cover with Bryan Danielson and the Young Bucks.
Yeah,
I mean that's who I would put on there. If they could fit MJF on there too, throw MJF on there as well.
yeah.
But I don't see them this late in the game changing the cover. I mean, the assets were already locked down in August. Like, nothing's going in and nothing's coming out of that game.
If the game
period.
is going to release in the first quarter, there's a good chance that these are already printed and ready to go.
That's a very good point. They prepare for stuff like this months ahead of time.
Well, it also, don't forget, this was supposed to be around the original release date too. So
yes,
another
the game was originally they were hoping to get it out right around Full Gear this month. That was the original date. Everything all out happened. Everything got pushed back, and we're in the situation that we're in now. Like, there's nothing that can be done. But yes, the game was due out like next week. Actually, it was going to be out next week. But the things have changed, and we are where we are now. Like I said, I've heard the same things Mike has heard, but I don't think it's going to get past the discussion conversation phase. I don't think they're going to pull him from the cover, but if they do, that's going to say a lot about Punk's future or lack thereof with AEW in 2023.
Yeah.
So that would be a very loud, if he's removed from the cover, that would be a very loud message from AEW management regarding his placement in the company going forward.
I think Colt Cabana's match on Wednesday last week kind of told you maybe where his place in the company going forward may be too.
Look, like I said last week, I think if Tony Khan wants to keep the peace, but keep all his puzzle pieces on the board, you move Cabana back to AEW, and when Punk's healed and ready to roll, you make him the centerpiece of Ring of Honor. You keep him away from everybody who he's had an issue with. You make Ring of Honor 10 times more important because Punk's at the forefront. Put the damn RH World title on him and let him carry that brand. And if things get smoothed over and everybody can work together later on, great. But that also keeps Punk under your umbrella to be able to use for things like this. So we'll see what happens. Because don't think for 1 second there's not going to be like that there's not plans for like Ring of Honor centric DLC for AEW Fight Forever, because they plan on supporting this game for years through downloadable content, and anything that they think that they're going to be able to add to that game that they have the rights to do with, they're going to do it.
Yeah. Tremendous news came from Adam Cole, baby, this afternoon, and it's not about a return to the ring, but a return to the arena of the party. A teaser video posted by Adam Cole on his Twitter account this afternoon that has stated that at 10 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday, November 20th. Sunday, November 20th. That the party is returning. And no other word on Twitch, up, down, down. Probably Twitch, because the video said stream will begin at 10 o'clock. But obviously, if you were a fan of up, down, down when Claudio and Bleav, yeah, I got my deck right behind me too.
It's
If you
coming back.
if you were a fan of course, obviously this was born out of the pandemic and turned into a sensation. But then obviously Bleav leaves, Adam Cole or Bleav got fired, Adam Cole leaves. Did Bleav get fired? Or did he just leave? I can't remember.
He was released.
He was
He was
released.
released.
Claudio jumped ship. So Xavier Woods is the only guy from the party that is still in WWE. But thankfully,
Bleav is still doing stuff with up, down, down.
That's true.
So,
but to quote Matt before we went live, at least Triple H does not have a stick up his ass and is okay with this type of stuff. And hopefully, maybe it even leads to returning to a weekly segment of Uno. If you've never seen it, I'm sure if you go to up, down, down,
please
go to go. I'm sure Xavier's got a whole section where you can see all the Uno from the party.
I need it injected into my veins, JB.
Right?
Give me the potty playing Uno back.
Man, that was so much fun. And then everybody, and then, people leaving the company and Vince not wanting to play well with others, but it is truly entertaining. I wasn't there one time there was even a 3-hour match.
There were some long episodes for sure, but they were all entertaining as hell. And just the thought that we're going to be able to get those back is very, very exciting.
Looking through, I do not see. I don't see the party as a group, but if you go all the way down to series, I thought it would be in there, but no, I don't see it there either. You may have to just search for Uno. I don't know. Trying to find it for the kids here, but yeah, okay. If you type in up, down, down, all one word, and Uno, there will be a whole playlist of all 75 episodes that they did that you could take a watch.
So damn good.
Yeah, it is highly entertaining. It obviously became an overnight sensation during the pandemic, so I highly encourage you guys to check that out as a live stream on this Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Keep an eye out on I'm sure either Adam Cole, Xavier Woods, Tyler Bleav, and Claudio will be sharing it on their socials, so just keep an eye out there. Moving along to our recap of television from this week. Monday Night Raw kicked off the week in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. We had the Usos and the New Day kicking things off. Your random interruption of Matt Riddle, which was I just don't get these Matt Riddle random interruptions. Sure, he's cool and all, he's funny, but I don't know. I just didn't think Matt Riddle in this situation was needed. Obviously, he was maybe just needed to take the pen, so to speak. So he just had a guy to take the pen. I don't know. A highly entertaining 6-man tag, though, for sure. Baron Corbin took on Cedric Alexander. That did not last too long, but at least it was good to see Cedric Alexander on TV. Been a while. Oh, wait. Who else wrestled on that show? Maybe a Shelton Benjamin? We putting 2 to 2 together here, Matt, maybe getting something that's hurtful?
God, I hope so. If you're going to turn him heel, at least put the damn Hurt Business back together.
It was revealed that Mia Yim was the secret member for the OC to even up the odds against the Judgment Day. What do you think of Mia Yim's spot in this?
It's fine. I mean, they needed somebody. Like,
Yeah, they
I
did.
didn't really have anybody in mind that would really fit what they were looking for, but I like Mia Yim. I always have. So
Yeah.
happy to see her back and happy to see her in a prominent position. I hope they just don't use her as, a feeder to Rhea Ripley out of this though, because that would kind of suck.
Yeah. Austin Theory and Shelton Benjamin, as I just mentioned, a lot of hurt business going on Raw. And then the big reveal, investigative reporter Johnny Gargano revealing that Miz paid Loomis all along to choke him out. Take from that what you will. But Miz and Gargano worked really well. They had a 16-minute match on Monday, one of the highlights of the show. I thought they worked really well together. Miz acting like Loomis was under the ring so he could cheat. So that was a pretty unique and interesting ending. The 24/7 champion. Hey, the 24/7 title's back. And now it's dead. Rest in peace. Nikki Cross, your last champion, and then she tried to throw it in the trash, but as her husband put it on Twitter, she has never really played basketball. So
To me, that was just the personification of that entire championship and division as a whole.
that it missed the
Just
that it missed the trash.
It missed the mark. It missed the mark.
Yeah. So Seth Rollins came back from a second time. Of course, he had initially came out to do an open challenge, but then the Judgment Day and the OC came out and battled. So Seth said, I'm gonna get out of here. And then Bobby Lashley, Mustafa Ali was going to answer that, but he got yeeted into some equipment, and Lashley came out. So I guess we're going with heel Lashley again. I don't know. We'll see where it all ends up there, but we'll see what happens from there. Honestly, it was an okay Raw, a lot better than the week before, so I guess that's always a good thing, so to speak.
That is the bar that we have set.
Yep. Joe Gacy beat Cameron Grimes in the opening of NXT this week. We got Elektra Lopez and Sol Luca, real quick match there. Sol's still trying to work things out. Charlie Dempsey, of course, the son of William Regal, with a quick match against Andre Chase. Man, he looks like his dad. It's insane. Stax took on Hank Walker. Grayson Waller had a Waller effect with Jan Wagner and Braun Breaker. And then JD McDonough and Axiom had a match, and then we had 5 minutes with Kemp and Brutus, which was kind of fun to watch Brutus just go ape shit on Kemp. But I mean, then we had the tag team titles, which we all saw a mile away coming, that they weren't going to win, and Zoe was going to turn heel. So this was really a very uneventful edition of NXT.
Big nothing show.
We kick off AEW this week with 8-man tag FTR and the Acclaim taking on the Guns and Swerve in Our Glory. And the good guys get the win there. MJF cutting yet another great promo from a Barstool Sports show, I think is where he was doing that from. He pre-taped that about a week ago or so because he wasn't at the arena for last week. Then we got the beginning of the Eliminator tournament. All Ego Ethan Page taking on Eddie Kingston. I'd say you're in agreement with me. Good to see Ethan Page get a big win here.
Yeah, no, I liked seeing Ethan Page win, but I was still hoping that we would get Kingston and Starks in the finals. But now obviously it's gonna be Page and Starks, so should be good.
Wardlow killed somebody, and then Joe turned heel. Oh boy. What do you think of Joe turning heel?
Wardlow deserved it, dude. Wardlow's been treating him like a backup dancer for weeks. If you watch Rampage before Dynamite, like there were teases that Joe was like, I've had it with this man's shit. And Wednesday, when he said he was going to win every single title, essentially that would mean including Joe's like, nah, fam, fuck that. Beat that ass. Samoa Joe, Wardlow, and Hobbs in a 3-way at Full Gear. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Backup dancer. That's hilarious.
That's what he's been treating them like, man.
Yeah, I guess that's about the best way you could put that. That's for sure. Face to face, Soraya and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And man, what a promo by Soraya.
I loved this back and forth. I loved everything about it. The only thing I would say, based on seeing the feedback that I've seen this week, if I'm Saraya, I would stop playing the "I've been in WWE, so I'm better than you" card,
Yeah.
because it seems like the AW fan base does not want to hear that. And just because, honestly, Saraya basically spoke nothing but truths, it seemed to upset a lot of people, at the end of the day. Anyway, I think the only thing she said that I didn't agree with is the fact that she claimed that Tony Khan handed Britt her spot in AEW, which I don't believe. I think Britt more than earned her spot um, atop the AEW women's division. But like almost everything else she said, I was completely like she's not telling any lies. It was a fire pro. Both women had a fire promo. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's gonna be one of the most anticipated matches of Full Gear this Saturday night. I can't freaking wait for that show.
Yeah, that was a good it was a good response by Britt as well. It'll be interesting to see Saraya back into the ring again, which is it's only 5 days away because it's Saturday for this pay-per-view. So
Right around the corner, man.
Lethal and Beretta had a match with Jay getting a win since he's been losing lately. And then Jeff Jarrett taking some shots at Braun Strowman and Triple H while he cut his promo to set up a tag match for Full Gear between Sting and Darby Allin, Jeff Jarrett,
Look,
and Jay
if I lost my job in favor of Road Dogg, I'd be taking shots at Triple H too.
I saw Trent Beretta go on the record saying that Road Dogg was nice to him in person and then trashing him behind his back. So it seems
The responses to that from other wrestlers
like
was
in agreement,
hysterical.
like they were in agreement.
I can't remember. Yeah, it was. They were all agreeing. Like this was somebody that would do it, and I don't remember which wrestler did it. I wish to God I could give them credit right now, but one of them was like, "No, not Road Dogg," in like the most sarcastic, like tweet response that you've ever seen, and I freaking lost it.
Oh my
I was
god!
just like, I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember what wrestler said that. It would take me way too long to try to go back and find that. But if you go back and look at Beretta's timeline, you'll be able to find it. And yeah,
That's
dude,
funny.
Road Dogg, not a good dude. He's just. There's way too many stories out about him that I don't think Road Dogg's a good dude, and I think there's a reason why Mister. I'm gonna bash AEW, but I have no idea why Tony Khan won't hire me. I think there's a reason why Tony Khan didn't hire him.
Yeah,
And I think we're continuing to see that right now.
Moxley cutting a great promo in the ring with William Regal there. Another video with the Young Bucks and Omega. And maybe we'll see them in 2 days. We'll see. Hater and Sky Blue.
I have them. If you don't put them on the show, put them on the Tron.
Yeah.
Right after Death Triangle defeat AR Fox and Top Flight on Wednesday, and do the challenge that way. You have to announce the match on Dynamite. That the Elite versus Death Triangle has to be announced Wednesday night. Do not wait another freaking day.
No.
That thing needs to be announced Wednesday for Full Gear on Saturday. Don't wait till Rampage or any of that bullshit. We need that match official Wednesday night.
Lance Archer interrupting an interview with Ricky Starks and destroying him, which will just tell you that Ricky Starks is going to beat Lance Archer in the elimination tournament.
Yep.
And then a tremendous 2 out of 3 falls match between Bryan Danielson and Sammy Guevara closed the show. Very good, great effort from both those guys for that match there. Absolutely great main event.
If you didn't like that match, I don't know what to tell you. And if you're going to continue to question Bryan Danielson's choices on how he works inside the ring, maybe you need a new line of work, because I think that man has more than earned his right to wrestle the way he wants to wrestle and go out the way he wants to go out. And if that's the style and the type of spots he wants to do, let the man do what he wants. I'm so tired of people, acting like they're his doctors or his or his medic teams. Like, dude,
Yeah.
he has more than earned the right.
It's a grown-ass man.
Yeah, he's more than earned the right to work the way he wants and go out the way he wants. If that's what he wants to do, who are me, you, or anybody else to tell him what he should and shouldn't be doing in that ring? That man has given us countless hours of entertainment over the past almost 2 decades now, and I will never take that for granted. I'm grateful for every time I get to see him step into the ring, and I think a lot of people really need to, question their motivations when they're giving him grief after a match like that on Wednesday night.
Rampage has been getting progressively better over the last couple of weeks. Hopefully they can keep that
last
momentum.
2 weeks have been very good.
Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, a great promo exchange leading to Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus at Full Gear inside of a steel cage. Eliminator tournament with Cage and Dante Martin, with Brian Cage getting the win. Good match for what it was. It was a short match, but still pretty entertaining with both those wrestlers. But Brian Cage moving on in the Eliminator tournament. And then looks like we may get a tease. Maybe Moriarty and Hook. Maybe that could be a buy-in maybe a buy-in match.
To me, that's a 0-hour match.
Yep, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Another promo aired for the House of Black. They've been doing some great vignettes leading up to their return, and I mean, it writes itself. Roosh and Bandito are not going to put on a shitty match, and they put on a great match for the Eliminator tournament. Bandito getting the win over Roosh. Were you kind of surprised that Bandito got the win here, Matt?
No, not at all, because Roosh versus Ethan Page didn't make a lick of sense.
Okay.
So no, as soon as Page went over, I'm like, oh yeah, Bandito's 100% winning this match, and you don't want to have Bandito out of the AEW gate 2 losses in a row.
Yeah,
I mean, his debut, he lost to Jericho for the ROH World Title. He needed to balance that out with a win, and I think a win over Roosh is a very respectable win in 2022. So
Nyla Rose squashing Kayla Sparks, and then putting Orange Cassidy in the main event of Rampage is always entertaining because he tries to steal Mark Henry's job. But also, in addition to that, a pretty good match between him and Big Shotty. Lee Johnson, who has returned from injury. Orange Cassidy retaining the All-Atlantic Championship. That brings us to Saturday, Matt. Full Gear taking place from New York, New Jersey. And we've got ourselves 9 matches on the card. Not to mention any buy-ins or anything else that may happen in between. So let's run down this real quick. Steel cage match, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus. I think this is clearly a Jungle Boy win leading up to one final match, maybe lights out against Christian Cage.
Yeah, this is a must win for Jungle Boy, regardless if Christian's cleared to get back in the ring at this point or not. He needs this win desperately. I hope Christian's cleared soon, because I don't know how much longer they can drag out this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Because Christian's injury really threw a monkey wrench in all this. I feel really bad for all 3 of them, quite frankly.
That they've had to stretch
they're
this out.
In this spot right now.
Yeah, I feel like Lights Out is a fitting end to this feud too, so I think that might be where they're going. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal taking on Sting and Darby Allin. Matt, who do you see winning that?
I'm hoping it's Sting and Darby, just so Jarrett reverts back to a backstage role and we don't have to see him on TV every week. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think that'll be
we'll see.
I think that'll be the result, but I think a lot of people are going to realize that we're laughing at the signing and maybe did not watch the Ric Flair. Jeff can still go in the ring, so I think
I'm not questioning that.
Oh, I know you're not. You're not. I know, but a lot of people are, and I think that's gonna.
Fair.
I think Jeff is gonna shock a lot of those people that were laughing. Saraya and Dr. Britt Baker, a DMD, and there's no way you have Saraya lose her return match, do you?
I wouldn't think so. I think I think she has to win.
Nyla Rose is not going to beat Jade Cargill for the title. That's not going to be the person.
I wish she would, but I don't think she's going to.
No, she's not going to be the one to end the undefeated streak. Whoa, boy, is this going to be good. Fatal 4-way for the ROH World title. Jericho, the Ocho, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. This feels... this feels like Jericho sweezling his way out somehow.
Jericho retains. I don't see him dropping the title until Final Battle.
Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole takes it from him.
I'm still not 100% sure it's Adam Cole.
Who do you think take? Who do you think might take it then?
I don't know. I'm not I have not squared away in my mind right now. But I'm not sold on. I'm not 100% sold on anybody as the person to dethrone him right now. And honestly, you're probably not going to want to do it since they're a tag team. But Jay Briscoe is not a terrible choice to dethrone Jericho.
Not at all. He has definitely established himself as a top singles player in Ring of Honor during his days there. Singles match for the interim women's championship: Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter. Do you see a title change here? Because a lot of the fans are loving Jamie Hayter.
Look, I know a lot of people want Hayter to win here, but I see no reason for that title to change hands until Rose is back. So I'm going to say Thunder retains.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Who do you got in the finals of the Eliminator tournament, and who wins?
I've got Starks and Page, and knowing that I believe MJF's leaving with the title, I got to go with Starks.
I agree. I said it from the beginning when the brackets were announced that this was a Starks and Page final. I agree with Starks winning it because I agree with you that we jump in the gun here, but that's okay. And that we both agree that MJF is going to take the title off of Moxley because Moxley was supposed to go on vacation before this whole all-out thing happened. But Moxley...
Look, and I know a lot of people would argue with, well, Ethan Page laid MJF out and whatnot, but I still say by the end of Full Gear, the firm and MJF will be firmly on the same page once again.
Yeah, it's all a swerve. And then the AEW Tag Team Championships, the Acclaim taking on Swerve in Our Glory. I think this one's pretty obvious. The Acclaimed are going to win. Swerve's going to turn on Keith Lee.
After the match.
Yep, after the
match.
Not
during the match. I don't know if I'd have done this 2 pay-per-views in a row. I think this might have been a mistake. I'm still thinking, I know the match is going to be great, but I feel like we could have gotten Swerve versus Lee at the show instead of, another one of these tag matches. I kind of feel like this feud has more than run its course, and it needs to end at Full Gear.
Let's quickly run through SmackDown before we give you the preview for Monday Night Raw and whatnot.
It does not sound good.
Oh my lord, did we get a treat once again? The Usos and the New Day brought it again. There's nothing to discuss about the match. It was tremendous. Do you like the idea that you have the Usos breaking the record, or should the New Day have kept it?
I mean, at that point, they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
The New Day doesn't have the momentum behind them right now to do that title change. They didn't have a choice. The story was there to do what they did, and they had a great match.
Yep.
I mean, if anything, it should have just been a reminder to everybody in the back why New Day should be treated as a better commodity on their programming right now than they are.
Yeah. Santos Escobar defeated Shinsuke Nakamura to move on in the World Cup. And they had a 6-pack challenge to determine Ronda Rousey's next contender, won by Shotzi. And Braun Strowman moving on in the cup, defeating Jinder Mahal. No big surprise there. We were supposed to get a tag match with Hit Row and the Legado, but that got interrupted by the Viking Raiders. And, of course, we all knew Sarah Logan was in there as well. So it's cool to see Sarah Logan back in there as well as the Viking Raiders healthy again. So that was kind of cool to see. And then, of course, the return of Sheamus. I thought it was a great ending for SmackDown. Unfortunately, the microphone didn't quite work, but we're going to get ourselves a little bit of War Games. So that is very cool to see. And we'll see, of course, who fills out the teams going forward. Seems pretty obvious on the Bloodline side, but we'll see how who fits in with McIntyre and Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes now that McIntyre and Sheamus are on the same page. I love the inclusion of McIntyre in this match, by the way. So let's look ahead as we wrap up the show. Let's look ahead to Monday Night Raw and AEW Dynamite. Right now for Monday Night Raw, Mia Yim going to have a singles match against Tamina. Riddle and Gable, that should be a damn good match. Shelton Benjamin back on your television again. He's going to be taking on Dominic Mysterio. Ali and Bobby Lashley. A little revenge after Lashley yeeted him backstage. There's going to be a promo package for War Games. Dana Brooke and Io Sky. Ziggler, Austin Theory. Akira Tozawa is still on the roster. He's taking on Baron Corbin.
It's not a good card, man. I'm really worried about the show tonight.
Kiana James and JD McDonough working main event. And not really much in the spoiler department either, really. So yeah, that's a kind of a light Raw, huh?
I was reading that when you were talking. I'm like, oh God, this does not sound good.
And moving along to looking forward to Dynamite on Wednesday. Your Dynamite Go Home show for Full Gear. Of course, Rampage will be live from Newark, New Jersey on Friday as well. We're going to hear from Moxley. We're going to hear from Samoa Joe. We're going to hear from MJF. So we're going to hear from a lot of people. A new music video by the Acclaimed, A Hand for a Hand is what that's going to be called. The Bunny taking on Tony Storm in a title eliminator match. We will also hear from Baker and Saraya. A lot of we're hearing from's on Wednesday here. Bowens taking on Shane Strickland. Tag match between the four guys in the ROH World title match with Claudio and Brian from BCC taking on the Jericho and Guevara from the JAS. And for the AEW Trios Championship, Death Triangle against Top Flight and AR Fox. Good to see AR Fox in the fold. He is a tremendous wrestler. He'll fit with Top Flight perfectly. If you ever watched Lucha Underground, him and Swerve had great feuds together in Lucha Underground. So I'm excited to see AR Fox there. Not a strong. I mean, the tag match should be good. Bowens and Swerve should be good. A lot of talking, it seems like, on Wednesday though, Matt.
Look, we're still gonna get our matches like we do every week, but this is the hard sell for Full Gear on Saturday, and I think that they're doing what needs to be done.
Well, thank you all once again for tuning in to Lost the Midcard. We're going to get ready to watch Monday Night Raw, not really excitedly after seeing that Fightful Select report, but
I'm hoping it's better. I'm hoping it's better than it reads.
It does not read well. No. Any final thoughts going into Full Gear on Saturday and what we're going to see later tonight, Matt?
I'm just hoping for a good week in professional wrestling. I know it's going to end great, but will it start good? I mean, I guess we'll find out in 3 hours' time.
That is true. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett once again. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard, brought to you by Bet Online.